There's no legal requirement that says that you have to purchase title insurance, but I could tell you that it's unlikely that any lender would lend you money unless you agree to get them title insurance. Hi, my name's Bill Mason from Mason & Mason, and this is Real Estate from an Attorney's Perspective. Okay, so today what I want to talk about is what is title insurance and why do you need it? Okay, so this is a question that comes up frequently, especially when the buyer gets the disclosure from the bank outlining the fees, and then they see this fee for title insurance, and then I almost always get a call that says, all right, do I need to get this? Especially since on the disclosure, a lot of the times it says buyer's optional, right? So let me start out by explaining to you the two types of title insurance that are typically obtained at a purchase closing in New York. So the first policy is what's called the fee policy or the owner's policy. And that's the policy that protects the buyer from title defects that could arise relating to the property prior to the date you purchased it, right? So it basically is like your title guarantee that nobody comes back after the closing and starts making a claim against the property. The second type of policy is what's referred to as the lender's policy or the alter policy sometimes. And what that does is it protects the lender and the lender's lien position with the mortgage against the property. And it also ensures that the lender has good title to foreclose against the property, so that no one else will have claims in front of them. All right. So title insurance is a one-time expense that you pay at the closing, and it covers you for as long as you own the property. So it's not like your typical homeowner's policy where you pay it every year. In New York, at least in the downstate area, title insurance is typically paid for by the purchaser, okay? There's no legal requirement that says that you have to purchase title insurance, but I could tell you that it's unlikely that any lender would lend you money unless you agree to get them title insurance. And although it's not legally required for the purchaser to obtain title insurance, in my opinion, it would be crazy not to get it. In my 25 years of representing people at closings, I don't think I've ever had a client not get title insurance. I mean, we've had the discussion, but when it's explained to them what the downside is to it, I don't think I've ever seen anybody not get title insurance, okay? Like I had said before, the title insurance is the purchaser's guarantee of ownership. Some of the things it would cover you for, it would cover you for mortgages or liens against the property that might be missed in the title search. So if there was a lien or a judgment or a mortgage that against a prior owner, they couldn't go against you. It would cover you for errors on the survey, disputes regarding the boundaries of the property. Another big one is claims arising out of forged documents or improperly recorded documents, claims of heirs, real estate tax arrears, documents that maybe don't have all the signatures on them. Maybe, you have a deed signed and that you have one person sign it, but it's in a state and you needed another signature or a trust, right? So that would put that problem with the title company, not with you. And then the other thing that it does is when one of these claims arise, not only do they pay the claim, if there is a claim, they also provide you with an attorney to fight the claim. So you're not coming out of pocket for the attorney. So, this is a really important thing to get title insurance, okay? And so let me also explain to you what the process is when, you have a contract signed. Typically, the first thing that an attorney will do is that they'll order the title search from a title company, and the title company will search the public record to see if there's any title defects, and then they'll provide a title report, which will have a list of objections in it. It will basically be all the questions or concerns that the title company has about the property. And between the date that the title report comes in and the closing, the attorneys work to clear these exceptions, basically called omitting the exceptions. And whatever exceptions are not cleared, those would be accepted from coverage, okay? So your attorney, that's his responsibility. I think it's really important that you make sure that your attorney orders the title search from the beginning, because some of the areas, especially in Long Island, it could take a while to get the searches back, and you don't want to delay the closing. And in addition to ordering a title search, right, that deals with the ownership of the property, they'll order certain searches as well, housing and building search, check, see if there's outstanding water charges, certificate of occupancy search, an open permit search, which is especially important in the city of New York since they don't always disclose open permits on the CO search, a bankruptcy search, emergency repair search, or any other searches that are appropriate for the area. Now, these are typically not things that are insured by title, these like zoning related matters, but they're searches that the title company will do, and it'll be your attorney's responsibility to make sure that there's no issues with them. A point that I want to bring up is in the recent past, a new type of policy was approved by the New York State Insurance Department. It's called the TOPE policy, and not all attorneys are familiar with it, and I think it's a great option. It's slightly more expensive policy, but it gives you additional coverages for these zoning matters that are not typically covered by a title policy. It's something that you should discuss with your attorney. The things that you can do in the process to make sure that you have, a timely closing is make sure your attorney orders that search from the beginning. I see some of the older attorneys, they like to order it once you get the commitment letter, and a lot of the times that can delay the closing. So I would have that discussion with your attorney. It's just not a good idea to delay, especially for those zoning types of searches that can take a while to get back. In some towns by us, like the town of Babylon or the town of Oyster Bay, in these small villages, they sometimes take up to a month just to return the search. And you don't want to be waiting to get the search and then find out there's a problem close to the closing date. So you want to try to get that up front, and maybe even when you make the offer, ask the seller, hey, is there any missing COs or open permits, so that you could have that discussion from the beginning and get it worked on so it doesn't delay you, And then another thing that's also time consuming to get and expensive is a survey. And so what I always ask my clients to do is to please ask the seller when you make the offer, or ask the realtor if there's an existing survey. And then what I try to do is go back to the existing surveyor and see if I can get that surveyor to update the survey. It saves some money, it's quicker. Or, sometimes you could just get away with the survey reading if there's been no changes since the date of the survey, if it's recent. Surveys are expensive and they take time to do, and the surveyors charge you more the quicker you want it done. You want to try to see if that's a way that you can save some money and get it done quicker. Another thing that's great is I had said how the title insurance covers you for any issue that you may have with the property before you bought it. So when you go to sell your property, if you can give your attorney the fee policy from when you purchased, and he can provide that to the buyer's attorney, that'll just basically be able to be used to clear any exceptions prior to the date you purchased. And now we're only dealing with what's happened to the property since you've purchased. Since the seller purchased, I'm sorry. It really makes things go quick, and it makes the process a lot easier. So title insurance is something we're real familiar with. My family has an abstract company where we're agents for First American, Fidelity, Old Republic, and AmTrust, and we do a lot of title work. And so if anyone ever wants to consult, I'm happy to talk to them. My phone number is 516-739-3090. I'm Bill Mason from Mason & Mason. This is Real Estate from an Attorney's Perspective. And please like and share the content if you found it informative. It helps the channel get seen by more people. Thanks very much for watching.